What's up, everybody? We back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about 5 tips for new players to up their game. Let's jump to it. Alright, so first thing we're going to be talking about on this list, we're going to be talking about three-pointers. Now, this is not my forte. I am not the best at playing threes, bro, if I'm being completely honest with y'all. But the one thing I wanted to point out when it came down to these three-pointers is that you do not have to be right on the three-point line for you to make that three, right? So there is a certain distance that you can go away from the three-point line. I believe this distance right here is the maximum. Definitely is. So this is the furthest back you could go and still make that three. You go back any further than this, you are not going to make that three, bro. It's just going to pop right back out. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. If you got a center right here screening for you and you're running side to side, but they are on this side of the screen, running side to side with you, feel free to just step back a little bit and take your free and easy three-point shot. All right, second up on our list, we're going to be talking about the crisscross spam, bro. Now, since this video is for new players, yes, I am talking to y'all when I say this following statement. You guys tend to spam that crisscross, bro. I see it all the time at the beginning of every season when we drop back down to gold. You guys will spam that crisscross until you try your best to break your defender's ankles. But when you get around plat, at minimum at least, once you hit plat, an experienced player will definitely know. All they have to do is just stand in front of you, bro, and stand still. You will run into them, you will drop the ball. So make sure y'all are not spamming that crisscross. It is not very good for you to be using. This game does a very bad job of teaching new players how it's supposed to be played, because when you're playing inside Street Legend, you're going to be spamming double dribble moves over and over again, trying to break their ankles because their defense is so strong. And that's what they teach you inside this game. They teach you to spam dribble moves until you break your defender's ankles. But that is not the only way for you to get wide open. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. Do not spam this double dribble move. All right, so next up, we're going to be talking about camera settings. Now, this is basically really down to personal preference. I prefer to be on camera setting number 1, basically because I'm able to see the entire court, right? So, for example, let's switch to camera angle 3. If I'm way over here and I'm playing a May, if someone is inside this corner over here to the top left corner of the three-point line, I cannot see them, bro. I cannot tell if they're wide open. I cannot tell if our center or power forward screened off their defender for them. I can't tell. So let's go to camera angle number 2. You can see a little bit better, but this angle right here, it is quite strange to me, man. I just want y'all to make sure y'all keep in mind, you can definitely change these camera settings. Just look up top at the top right of the screen. It's going to be next to your ping. You just click on that camera button and you will switch between your camera angles. Make sure you switch it to something that is visually satisfying for your eyes and something that can make sure that you can see the entire court, preferably camera angle 1 or camera angle 2, because camera angle 3 is extremely limited. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. All right, number 4, we're going to be talking about dunk variations. We got our boy Ben right here inside the training area, dunk training to be specific. So the thing I want to point out when it comes down to dunk variations is how you get those different variations to proc, right? So at base, for people that don't have dunk-based abilities like glide and dunk, walk in the air dunk, and between the legs dunk like my guy Ben here, people that don't have those kind of variations, they're only going to have 2 different variations to their dunks. So the first animation we're going to be looking at is the close dunk animation. Now, when you're doing a close dunk, it's going to look like this, right? You're just going to do a regular standing dunk to the rim, bro, and you have to be inside the key for you to do a close dunk. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. Now, when it comes down to certain dunk variations, because I know Howie, he has the thunder dunk, and when it comes down to the thunder dunk, you have to do a dunk inside the key in order for that to proc right after the next dunk. But when it comes down to people like Ben, when it comes down to people like Lightning, Havoc G, Friedman, all those people, man, they're going to have to do the long-range dunk animation. And the long-range dunk animation for people who aren't bigs, it's going to look like this. They're going to cock their arm back, and they're going to do that dunk and get it on in there. So after you do that regular dunk animation, you're going to be to your next animation, and that's going to be whatever you have next inside your slots. So I believe I have glide and dunk in the first slot when it comes down to using Ben. So now I'm on my glide and dunk, and then after that, we're going to be on our between the legs dunk. And after that, we're going to have our walk in the air dunk. But let me point this little thing right here out. If you have a dunk that you do not want to use just yet because there's no center or power forward inside the paint, You can go up here, do a regular close dunk with your boy Ben, and then you will still have your walk in the air dunk queued up. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. Now you can see here, he has 3 different dunk animations when it comes down to long range dunks. Well, really 4 if you count the base one. But now I'm back in my regular dunk animation. And after I get done with that regular dunk animation, it's gonna start all the way back over from gliding dunk to the between the legs dunk and then back to the walk in the air dunk. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. Use these different dunk variations to your advantage. And if you need to save one of those different dunk variations for later, make sure you do so. All right, so last up on our list, we are looking at control schemes. Now there are 3 different control schemes inside of this game. You got smart, you got professional, and you also have classic. Now, when you're playing using smart or professional, you will not have a dive. Even if you have it equipped, you will not be able to dive for the ball because they do not have that button on the first 2 control schemes. So we're gonna jump into the training area, the rebound training, just so I can show y'all the difference between these control schemes when it comes down to the dive. All right, so first up, we're gonna be looking at smart. As you can see, she shot the ball and I do not have a dive down there, bro. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. Do not use smart if you're using a point guard or a shooting guard that has a dive ability. You want to make sure you're switching your control settings to classic. Let's go to professional so I can show y'all that one too. All right, we're on professional. Now I'm pretty sure this one, oh, professional does have a dive. I guess they changed it because professional didn't used to have a dive, but I guess they did change it, bro. So yeah, professional and smart, they both have a dive. So make sure if you're using a character with a dive ability and you have it equipped, you switch to smart or professional. I'm not really sure which is better between professional and classic because I have never used professional, bro. So just make sure y'all keep it in mind, man. That's it for this video. If you want to have a dive, make sure you're using professional or classic. Those are the only 2 that have a dive. Make sure you keep in mind that when you are playing threes, you do not have to be right on top of that 3-point line. You just have to make sure you're not so far back that it's impossible for you to make that shot. You want to make sure you remember what I said about those dunk variations. That's going to really come in handy, especially the part where I said you can save those dunks for later. There are some really good ISO bend comps and strategies. Make sure y'all keep that in mind if y'all got some friends y'all like to play with. All right, man, that's it. I'll catch y'all on the next one.